A very warm welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 26th November 2020. Today is a very important day. It is Constitution Day of India. The first article is about Constitution. This article is written by Om Birla, who is Speaker of Lok Sabha. Second article is about a very important message coming from President Ramnath Kovind. Third and the fourth article, these two articles are about love jihad. Then we have one article from Hindu, it's about USA. And the last article is about education. This one is from the Hindu newspaper again. Dear friends, if you are preparing for UPSC, then we have a dedicated smart course. This smart course is designed by some of the best faculties of our country. This smart course will help you with your prelims as well as mains examination. To find out more about it, all you have to do is download our mobile application. Mind you, till 30th November 2020, EMI offer is also running on our smart course. I have already shared the PDF of today's lecture on my Telegram channel. You can get it from my Telegram channel, which is here on your screen. Please make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure that you share this lecture with other students and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Today is 71st anniversary, right? It was on 26th November 1949 we adopted our constitution. I'm sure, dear friends, we all are aware about this fact that when our country achieved independence, our country was surrounded by so many challenges. We had a very painful partition. Majority of our people were very, very poor. Large-scale illiteracy and, the things that were done by this colonial power, they ruined our economy. We were dragged into World War I and World War II. So this 40s, 1940s was a very painful decade for our country and for the world as well. So we were suffering. We were in a very bad situation. But then as well, we decided that we need to go ahead. We need to adopt a constitution that is democratic. A constitution that is not only important for 1940s and 1950s and 60s, but we adopted a constitution that is like a living document. It is not, our constitution is not like a document that you have, just adopted and that's it. No more changes. No. Our constitution is a fine balance. It has few things that you cannot change, like, for example, fundamental rights. And it has few flexibilities as well that you can change, you can amend our constitution as per the requirement of the time. Our great leaders who steered us through the struggle of independence had foresighted of what our polity should be. The constitution was expected to shape a nation, nurture a society and guide future generations for times to come. The drafting committee of constitution, they held in roughly speaking 3 years time, precisely 2 years, 11 months and 17 days. But just for your understanding, you can say in 3 years time, they had 141 meetings and they drafted a constitution comprising a preamble, 395 articles and 8 schedules in it. Now many people, they say that there is nothing interesting about this constitution because it is all copy and paste from other constitutions. Now I thoroughly disagree with this viewpoint. This is a very narrow viewpoint. The reality is that if a country has invented or innovated, if a country's constitution is talking about fundamental rights, then using those fundamental rights for our country, there is nothing wrong with it. If a country's constitution has invented federal structure, federal system, where you have central government and states, then there is nothing wrong with it. So we have not just did Control C and Control V or copy paste, right? It is about using the best that is available. And that's what we do in our normal life as well. Isn't it? Observe the products and services that you are using on regular basis. Are all the products and services that you are using are made in India only and invented in India only? No. I'll give you one example of a very common vegetable, that is potato. Now, potato, the root of potato is in South America, Peru. The Portuguese, they introduced potato in our country, and today potato is a very common vegetable. You find it from north to south, east to west, in every corner of our country. Potato is a very important ingredient of our various different cuisines, isn't it? Take example of orange, invented, or it came from China. Very few people would be aware about this fact that oranges are basically from China. And there are so many things, right? I'm just giving you this two examples here. You can observe things around you. Printing press was invented somewhere else, and today we all are using books, right? We are reading things. Computers were invented somewhere else, and we all are using it. So why not with constitution? If few countries, if they have something best, then why don't use it in our country for the betterment of our people and our society, and eventually for the whole world? So that's what we have done, right? So always keep this thing in mind, that it is not copy paste. It is using the best that was available at that point of time. Our constitution is very flexible as well. At the same time, it is, as I told you, it is very I won't use the word rigid here, but I would say that it is very firmly grounded. At the same time, it is flexible. So when our constitution was adopted, as I told you, we had some 395 articles and 8 schedules. Today we have more than 400 articles and 12 schedules. So this indicates that amendment is also possible, and that's what we have done. We have upgraded our constitution as per the requirement of time. The Constitution of India provides for socio-economic and political democracy. It underlines the commitment of the people of India to achieve various national goals with a peaceful and democratic approach. Let's take example of 2014 general election. UPA ruled our country for 10 years. And 2014, NDA came into power. It was a very peaceful transition. The Congress government stepped aside and BJP government took over. And look at the situation. Compare 2014 situation with 2020 situation of USA. Today, Mr. Trump is not ready to accept his defeat. And there are so many challenges, right, at present that Joe Biden and his parties, they may face many speed breakers and challenges. So we'll talk about it when we'll reach there. Today we have an article on that thing. So just compare, and there are so many nations, right? You see that Israel and so many nations, their birth is around late 40s and early 50s. But you find that our constitution was secular, and we went ahead with this universal adult franchise like men and women. There was no, every adult citizen in our country was given this power to vote. You see, in USA, it took ages for ladies to get this right. Even after 250 years. After that, they got this right to vote. So, if you compare our constitution with other nations, and if you have basic understanding about the history of the world, then you will find that our constitution makers, they were very visionary, and they were so learned people and sensible people. They gave us this very beautiful document. Now it is on us, right? When I say us, I mean to say it's not just about government. It is on us as an individual, as a society, to make sure that we implement this constitution as much as we can. I do understand there is a gap between what is written in our constitution and how much we see in the ground, but it is on us, right? It is not just the government. It is on us to make sure that we implement the things that we find in our constitution. Freedom of all sections of society, and our constitution provides every citizen the right of equality without discriminating on the basis of caste, creed, sex, religion, sect, or language. So far, we had 17 Lok Sabha elections and more than 300 state assembly elections. This itself demonstrates that the world's largest democracy is not just for namesake. Things are actually where our democracy is heading towards. We are maturing every moment. We are heading towards more and more. We're heading towards perfection, I would say. Right? It's gonna take a bit of time, but the direction is right. Speed is, we'll have good speed, and sometimes we are slow, ups and downs and all these things, but as far as we are heading in right direction, that's the most important thing, and that's what we are doing. And thanks to our constitution, we have a perfect balance of this check and balance: legislature, executive and judiciary. Three important pillars, and the fourth pillar is media, of course. But all these four pillars, right, no one is above our constitution. That's a very interesting thing about our country. Our constitution bestows us with fundamental rights as well. We have 6 rights at present: right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, culture and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. But we have to understand, it is not just fundamental rights that we should focus on. We should also fulfill, as an individual, as a society, our fundamental duties as well. If we want to achieve what is written in our constitution, then it is very important that each and every one of us, right, in our own capacity, we do things through which we can fulfill our constitutional duties. Moving on to next topic, the President's message. This one is from Hindustan Times, a very interesting, very important article. Now, annual conclave of presiding officers of Parliament and various state legislatures took place, and our President Ramnath Kovind ji made a series of significant points. He said that it is very, very important. Democracy is all about dialogue. Democracy is itself, the basic nature of democracy is my viewpoint can be different from your viewpoint, but that does not mean that we fight with each other. We have to accept this fact that we all are different, we all are unique, but we all are Indian citizens. So our views are going to be a bit different on various different topics, but that does not mean that we stop each other from expressing our views. Now, our parliament or our legislative assembly, we generally call our parliament as a temple of our democracy. And parliament plays a very important... When I say parliament, I'm also talking about legislative assemblies and councils. I'm also talking about Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, everything together. So I'm using this common word, parliament. So parliament is a place where we discuss, where we debate, where we deliberate, and where we create rules, laws that are important for our society. And laws created by parliament. The reason why politicians are so powerful is because the rules and regulations that they create will impact science and technology, that will impact education, that will impact our personal life, that will impact our businesses, that will impact our jobs, that will impact our defense, that will impact each and everything, right? Directly, indirectly, rules and regulations made our parliament, they have a direct and indirect impact on our life. So it is very important that we create best possible laws. We need to refine these laws. For that, we need discussion. There should be a discussion between opposition and a ruling party in the parliament, of course. But we don't find this harmony these days. What we find is this tu meme, or this, they are just blaming each other. This blame game is something that is very common these days, and we find disruption, and this is not at all healthy for our democracy. Dialogue was essential to ensure that debates did not become disputes. Debate is not for winning. Argument is not for winning. It is about, the main goal of argument or debate should be to refine the things, to refine the topic on which this debate or argument is going on. The role of opposition is also important, it is very, very important that opposition play a very active role, because opposition will keep the ruling party in line. You have to understand that, let's say if you have 100 MPs or MLAs in a given assembly or a house, and if say 70 MPs or MLAs, they are from ruling party and 30 are from opposition, right? This MLAs, they have won the election. So this 30 people, they got vote from people of our country, isn't it? They are there because people gave their vote, and there are people in our country, they believe that this 30 people, they believe in this 30 people. Majority believe in this 70 people. But this voice is also important, because that is also a voice of India. And their duty is to make sure that government stays in line. Government is following our constitution and rules and regulations and things. And government should also respect views coming from the opposition party. There are three big issues that we find these days. The first one is deeply polarized nature of Indian democracy and politics. Right? Political competitors see each other as enemies. Of course, we can understand during election time you can behave like competitors, but this should not be, like attacking each other on their personal life. And there are so many dirty games going on these days. That's called horse trading. Like a party will win election, and then you will buy or purchase this MLAs or MPs, and they will ditch the party and they will change their party, and then we will have one more election, and then things like that. So this sort of things are going on as well, and this is very, very sad for our democracy. And the last thing is partisan presiding officers. Presiding officers, when you have your Lok Sabha speaker or Rajya Sabha chairman or legislative assembly speaker, their job is, they are constitutional. They have a constitutional post, and their job is to ensure that they act in impartial, without being biased. They act, their decisions are impartial. They act in an unbiased way. But we find these days in few places we have observed that Speaker of the Assembly, he or she, or they have, in many states we have observed that their decisions were very partial. Because what happens is, if you know the election process of a speaker, mostly it is a person is elected from a ruling party. But they have to understand that once they become a speaker, they are not with any party, right? They used to be, you were in a party earlier on, BJP or Congress or X or Y or Z, but now you are speaker, and your duty is to ensure smooth running of your house. But impartiality is rare these days, and that is very bad for our democracy. So this was the message from the President, and of course each and every MP and each and every MLA should, they should pay attention to the advice, and they should try the level best to implement this advice in letter and spirit. Moving on to the next item, Love Jihad Bogie. Madhya Pradesh government's announcement that it would table a bill to prosecute love jihad. Uttar Pradesh has now passed the UP Prohibition of Unlawful Religious Conversion Ordinance, making forced religious conversions, whose meaning will include conversion for marriage, punishable by tough jail term and fine. See, Uttar Pradesh bill is saying that if you want to marry, let's say you have a girl from X community and boy from Y community, and if this girl and boy, they want to marry each other, then let's say the girl will convert into Y community, right? And then they will get married. So if you do this thing, then this will be punishable. And if you want to do this thing, then you have to inform district magistrate 2 months in advance. Now, this is the problem. The big problem is that in our society, and I believe this is something that we find all across the board in our country. Even if you want to marry a girl or a boy who is of same caste, then as well it's not that easy. You know, kids or youngsters, they find it very difficult to inform their parents about their love affair. So even if you are of same caste, then as well you find this sort of mental barrier. Then just imagine when you want to marry someone who is from different religion, it's going to create troubles, right? There are very few families who will say that that's fine, that's okay, or else you will see some sort of resistance, and the only option left with youngsters is that they will do their court marriage and things, and then they will do all this legal procedure, and then they will inform their parents, so that at least law is on their side. But then we find honor killing and pressure and so many other things going on. Now, one more thing, that Allahabad High Court has correctly held that the right to choose a partner irrespective of religion is intrinsic to right to life and personal liberty protected by Article 21 of our Constitution. Right? Our Constitution, our law clearly states that if you are above 18, if a girl is above 18, if a boy is about 21, and if they want to marry, then they can. Well, this is the law. Our Constitution, Article 21, right to life and personal liberty, it also says that it is your right to choose a partner. No one else can force you. That's what our Constitution says. But now there are few state governments, they are coming out with this sort of law, so it is invert. It is opposite to this minimum government and maximum governance. It looks like it is maximum government and minimum governance. On one side, the central government is talking about uniform civil code. On the other side, we find that BJP ruled states are coming out with this sort of laws. This reminds us of South Africa. Remember apartheid system? Nelson Mandela fought his whole life against this apartheid system. And we find a similar version of apartheid system via these laws. And then we have this mantra, unity in diversity. That is a basic mantra of our country, isn't it? And this is going against, this sort of laws are going against it. So the best thing that we can do is we need to simplify the provisions of the Special Marriage Act. So if you want to marry someone who is from different religion, then there is no point or there is no need of conversion. The reason is, see, the most sensible thing to understand is when a boy and a girl, or maybe two boys or maybe two girls, that means in our country, as per the law, you can marry anyone you like if the other person is ready to marry you. So I'm just giving you a common example of a boy and a girl, right? If they want to marry and if they know that they are from different religion or religious background, then they know this thing that they are from different religious background. First thing. Second thing, now they love each other, and this clearly indicates that for them religion is not the most important thing. It is this love that they share with each other, and that's why they want to marry and live together. So they have accepted this fact that religion, their educational background or their economical, financial background, all these things will be chucked in the back bench. The most important, the first priority for these two people is the love that they share with each other. So why you need to convert? I don't understand this thing. There's no need for conversion. So that's what we need to do, special marriage. This is my opinion. What do you think about it? Just stick your view in the comment section. Now roll it back. This one is about, again, the same topic. It's about this love jihad and the sole intention of changing a girl's religion. That's what Uttar Pradesh government is trying to say. So are we saying that girls are easy to manipulate? They cannot think what is good for them. If we are saying this thing via this law, then we are making a big mistake. And there are other BJP ruled states. Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Karnataka, they are also eager to follow what Uttar Pradesh has done. And this is, the bottom line of this Indian Express editorial is roll it back. Roll it back means reject this, or Uttar Pradesh government should drop this bill. Moving on to next item. This one is about transition troubles that we are, seeing in USA. It's not going to be that easy for Joe Biden to take over, because Mr. Trump, even today, he is not accepting this fact that he has lost this election. He has filed many lawsuits, and some of them are knocked down by the courts. But still, he is, has vowed that he is going to fight. So it's not going to be that easy. And then you have, when you are a president, then you have appointed various different officials at various different offices. And they are also resisting. They are also not ready, because they are inclined towards your party. They are not ready to work, and they are, they cannot openly say this thing, but they are creating friction. So it is going to be very challenging for new administration to take over. And USA is a country that has been a global lighthouse, and USA has, the oldest democracy in the world. And so many nations, right? We see USA, we learn from USA. USA is definitely a leader country. It is one of the most important nation. And if we find this sort of transition trouble in USA, then what message other countries will learn from USA? That's a big question. Moving on, we don't need no ed tech control. I'm going to be very brief and precise here, to the point. See, these days, because of this lockdown thing, so many kids are not able to attend schools and colleges, right? There are so many companies, ed tech companies, they are saying that we will teach your kids how to use computers and artificial intelligence, and they need to work from today itself. And okay, that's a good thing. I'm not saying that we should keep our kids away from technology. It is very, very important that they play with technology. But we have to understand that technology is not the only thing, right? The reason why I'm saying this thing is because, let's say if you want to create something with artificial intelligence, we are working on a program or something, or if you are trying to create an app, then just technical knowledge is not enough. You see, all these tech companies, right? If you visit Google or Apple or any other company, you will find that you will find a mix. You will find a balance of people with technical knowledge and people with human skills, and they are together working and creating things. In today's world, it is not your technological prowess, it is not your intelligence that will lead you to success. Trust me, right? It is not your range of information. It is not your, I'm not saying that you should not have information. I'm not saying you should not read. I'm not saying you should not practice. I'm not saying that you should not have expertise in any particular field. If you have, then that's good. But just intelligence is not going to, just your IQ will not decide your success. There was a time when IQ was the only thing. But today and in future as well, IQ is not the only thing, right? Apart from IQ, or on top, the most important thing is human skills. Human skills are the most important. You see so many, I'll give you one example. You find so many IAS officers, right? Rank 1, rank 2, rank 10. And you find a few officers, they are not rank 1, rank 2, they are rank 90, rank 100. But then as well, their work, you see their work, the things that they are doing are so good. You find in various different, you find CEOs in companies, right? They are CEO of a very technical company. But if you see them, that they are not good with, they are not expert in technology. What they are expert is in management. They know how to launch things. They know how to work with people. They know how to get the best out of that particular person. Like directors, good directors, successful directors. They are not actors, but they know how to bring out good acting from a particular actor or actress. They know how to, get best music for A.R. Rahman or Vishal Sekhar or anyone else. And they know how to, direct an editing team to edit a film and things. So they are not, a director is not expert in acting, a director is not expert in editing, a director is not expert in music. But what he or she will do is he will act like a glue that will make sure that all these people, they work in sync with each other. And that's what we need in offices. That's what we need in businesses, right? We need people, we need kids, we need to train our kids with human skills. They should know how to communicate. They should know how to listen. Just speaking is not enough. Listening is one of the most important skill, but we don't train our kids with listening. So yes, technical knowledge and technical things is good, but human skills, I would say, is on top, right? It is always, and it will be always at the very top of pyramid. What do you think about it? I would really love to hear from you guys. Please stick your viewpoint in the comment section. What do you think should be, which area we need to train our kids in? This is a question for you guys. I want you to think, and I want you to stick your viewpoint in the comment section. And that's everything from my side. Thank you very much for watching this video. God bless you all. Jai Hind.